Welcome to Sports Frenzy, guys. With me is Dima. We're supposed to have Ken's and probably Bones on the way. So I'll go on, Dima.
Big up yourself, boss. Big up everybody in the comment section. It's been a minute.
It seems like you're cold, man. When I say time cold.
You what it get chilly over here, man.
Yeah, the winter season coming up. So
Exactly.
this is actually our penultimate EPL fixtures before World Cup preview show.
Yeah.
So let's go again. Penultimate preview show
Mm.
before World Cup, right? Because remember that World Cup starts on the 20th of November,
Yeah.
right? So after this week, we only have one more preview week, and then we'll wait until the end part of December before we start back EPL fixtures, predictions, and reviews. So this also is match 15th, week 15th in the EPL fixtures. And our
Mm.
first game tomorrow will be Nottingham Forest versus Brentford. So that's Nottingham on 9 points at the bottom of the table versus Brentford in the level position with 15 points. What do you make of that game?
Don't,
Um,
don't remind me. Don't remind me. Say not down there at the bottom of the table, boss. um,
Wait, so should they beat
um,
Liverpool?
yeah, it's a home game for Nottingham Forest, right? Home game for
Yeah.
them. Yeah. So I mean. I think it can be a tricky game for Brentford. I think Tony is supposed to miss that game because of yellow card accumulation, or yeah. So he'll miss that game. But I think that they'll have enough to to beat Nottingham Forest. I don't think Nottingham Forest are great at all. I know they beat us and whatever, but they played defensively well. I've been saying it that they've been changing the way they play in terms of being more defensively solid, and so that's how they got the result against Liverpool. And yeah, so I think Brentford will be a lot more physical. They have those big centre backs and stuff come up for set pieces, and I think that Brentford should get the better of Nottingham Forest. I'm going to go 2-1 to Brentford.
So you say even though Nottingham is at home, you're going with Brentford, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think that game, based on the fact that Nottingham Forest is tightened up a bit on their defensive
Mm,
play, is likely to end in a draw. Like I'm going for a 1-1 draw with that Brentford game, and that's 10 a.m. tomorrow. And so, guys, remember that the time has also changed in England. So the games were 9 a.m. before Jamaican time. Now it's 10 a.m. So yeah, it has gone up by 1 hour. So I'm not sure in the US it's gone up by an hour, probably by a weekend. But in England, the time has gone up by 1 hour. And our
oh,
next
that
game,
okay, okay, okay.
yeah, that happened. And our next game will be Wolves versus Brighton, and that's Brighton in eighth position on 18 points. They have been having a very good season, and Wolves 19th in the table on 10 points. Not a good season for them so far, but
Mm.
that match will also be at 10 a.m. and Wolves will be at home versus Brighton. What you make of that game, Dima?
Yeah, listen, I don't know what happened to Wolves. They went back and they got Diego Costa. He got a red card for a headbutt in the last game. Um, Brighton coming off a magnificent victory over Chelsea. I mean, they're just flying at the moment with Trossard and McAllister and everybody playing really well. I think they should be getting Welbeck back as well. So everything is pointing to a Brighton win for me. Um, Wolves are just not in great form at the moment, and so I'm going to go for Brighton. Trossard um, getting the work done. So I'm going 2-0 to Brighton.
Yeah, and for me as well, I'm going in Brighton. They had a very good game against Chelsea last week. They could have even scored more goals, right? They were very
Hmm.
convincing in terms of their attacking play with Trossard, and then Welbeck, as I said, should be back. So I'm going with Brighton for a 3-1 victory based on the fact that the form they're in and the form that Wolves. The thing with Wolves this season, they're kind of unpredictable in terms
Hmm.
of they're most having bad results, but a lot of their results are play is very unpredictable at times. So you don't know really what to expect of them. But I think that Brighton will come home victory with 3-1 in that match. And then now the other 10 a.m. game we have tomorrow will be Man City at home to Fulham, right? And many
Yeah.
persons expecting that part of the game to be actually very easy. 3 points for Man City. What says you uh
Well, I'm inclined to believe and go along with everybody. Think Haaland is, I don't know. Pep is saying that he might play and you have to see how he looks, and if he say that he's fit, he's going to play and all of that stuff. But I think even without Haaland, if he doesn't play, Manchester City will win that game comfortably. Um, Fulham concede a lot of goals, and I know Mitrovic is on great form. Pereira is on great form as well, playing in midfield. Bobby Reed, he's playing well at right back for Fulham as well. So they have decent players coming into this game, but Manchester City are just a different class. And even without Haaland, yeah, they'll just be way too strong. So I'm going for a big victory for Manchester City. I'm going for 4-0 to City.
all right. And guys in the comments, you can also make your predictions in the comment section as well. Good night to Michelle, Fresh God, Kevin Bernard, Robbie Rich, Cadian, and Juna. Big up on yourself, guys, in the comment section. And what you make of that statement by Zlatan regarding Pep and holding back Ireland, right? Because
I don't
Zlatan
know his
came out with
Latin.
a statement. You saw that statement?
No, sir, I don't know his Latin.
Well,
Zlatan
Zlatan
says
came
a
out and
lot of
saw a
stuff.
statement that because um, Pep don't like when players' egos are bigger than
Mm,
his. So once they start to perform in a particular way, he tried to hold him back. So basically, he's trying to say that Alan is not really injured, but just Pep not allowing him to play as much games to get more goals. And then now, Pep replied to him in a very sarcastic manner in the press
mm-hmm.
conference today, saying that yes, he's holding back Alan because he likes to be the one in charge and his ego is bigger than everybody else. So, but Pep was actually a bit sarcastic.
No, sir. Listen, Zlatan says a lot. He's in the media. Not, I mean, me rate Zlatan really highly as a football player, and I'm rate him personality as well. I really like when everybody are the same and believes so them have to be humble and all of this kind of thing. Me rate Zlatan, but that's absolute nonsense. Like, me no, me no see how. I mean, me get the part about the ego thing, yeah.
Yeah,
Because I think this isn't the first time it would have come up because I think he might have some problem with Etu one time and the
right.
whole Yaya Toure thing at City. So something can be there, but it's not holding back no Haaland. I think the man genuinely injured and he should be back pretty soon.
So
So
basically, expect him to be back tomorrow.
if not starting on the bench,
Okay.
he should be
All
on
right.
the
Well,
bench because he was in
I think he'll be
training.
back tomorrow, but probably not starting as usual. But probably come in the game and probably score a goal or two. That should be an easy win for City. You're going with 4-0. I'm going actually 4-1. Even though Fulham is actually in good form, right? They
Yeah.
have been in very good recent form. But I think that playing away to City is going to be too much for them.
Yeah, and
They have-
It's not like City unbeatable or
exactly.
I mean, they're winning games obviously, but they're not impenetrable. Like Newcastle got at them. I mean, Newcastle are a good team, but Aston Villa got at them. We beat them, and they're conceding goals. So it's like, yeah, Fulham can do that, but playing at the Etihad, yeah, 4-0 City for me.
Yeah, man, I'm going with City 4-1. I see that Kevin Bernard is going with City 3-2,
That
and Michelle
close
is
one.
saying hold them Fulham. I see Robbie going with Fulham. Wow. To beat City 2-1.
What?
Robbie.
Yo, brother, yo, nobody
I'm
can say
going with
something
rather
this
going with
man.
the upset. So I guess Robbie is trying to say something to the betters that go with that 2-1 and probably
Don't do that. Don't do
yes.
that.
I would advise the betters be very careful or you listen
Don't
to
be
us.
very careful. Just don't do it. That's
Don't do that too.
ridiculous. Ridiculous, bro.
I see Dr. Dunn also going with 2-1 for Fulham. So there's a lot of persons going with Fulham tomorrow. I wonder if
Ah,
these
boy.
fans are Arsenal fans though. Um,
Probably. I must that.
yeah. I've
Cause
always
I
accused
guarantee
Robbie
you,
of being an Arsenal fan, but he denied secretly.
me guarantee you, boss. None of them people who say the upset, I go bet them house and them land and money and go bet say Fulham I go beat City. None of them now do that.
And I'm seeing City fan Dale Francis said, um, Robbie high as usual.
I agree. I agree, Dale.
So on the next 10 a.m. That's the last 10 a.m. game. Tomorrow will be Leeds versus Bournemouth, and that game is a bit tricky in terms of the position that they're in. Leeds is in um 12th position and Bournemouth in 13, right? So
Mm,
sorry, Leeds is in 14th position. Um, Bournemouth is in 14th position. Leeds is in 15. So one is on 13 points. Bournemouth on 13 points. Leeds
mm,
on 12, right? And both of them have been up and down this season. And for
yeah.
me, that game looked like just a draw game, a 1-1 scoreline. There's not much between them in terms of position in the table and points difference. Just
Mm.
1 point separate them, and they have been very poor this season in most of their games. So what you make of that game, Demo?
Boy, another team that Liverpool lost to. Leeds. I mean, watching that game against us, and they were at Anfield, and I think that they'll be playing at Ellen Road for this game against Bournemouth. Um, I mean, I know you said they're on poor form, but I think they'll be galvanized from beating us at Anfield. Gave Jesse Marsh that shot that he needed to keep him job. Um, I don't know. I think that Leeds will actually get the better of Bournemouth in this game, playing at home. So I expect it to be a end-to-end game, but I think that Leeds will just have enough to get over the line. So I'm going for 2-1 to
Or you
Leeds.
going for
2-1 Leeds.
2-1 to Leeds? And what to make? What do you think that Jesse Marsh position was under threat for him to be
Boss,
stopped?
the week before they played Liverpool, I came on here and said that, we at Liverpool we have a kind of a trend to get managers fired when them are under pressure because it happened to Jose when he was at Man U and a couple other managers got sacked right after. Um, and but now I gonna say we got with the Bournemouth one name Scott Parker when we give them 9 love, and then he got sacked after. Obviously, he said some stuff that the Bournemouth people weren't too fond of. But we tend to get managers sacked, and I thought that if Liverpool had won that game, they would have fired Jesse Marsch. So I thought he was under a lot of pressure. He got the win and the result that he needed to keep him in the job. So let's see how long it lasts.
And just as we talk about Jesse Marsh, right?
Mm,
Someone sent a video documentary with Jesse Marsh being one of the Red Bull production line of coaches, right?
mm,
Along the line, you have the Godfather, what you call it, Judging Pressing,
yeah.
um, Ralph Ragnick, you have Jurgen Klopp, Nagelsmann,
Mm,
you have Tedesco, you have Jesse Marsh, right? That came through that whole line of Red Bull production from Salzburg, Leipzig, and
yep,
all
yep.
those teams in Germany and Austria, right? Do you agree that he plays along that type of football?
Yeah,
That is
yeah. I think he's in the similar mold to them. I mean, he didn't do that against us, obviously, because he was under pressure. So I thought that he changed up a bit. But when he came into the league, yeah, you could see that he came straight out of that kind of school, that kind of playing and high intensity pressing, and stuff like that. So yeah, man, he is right out of the drawing book from those
All right.
guys.
And just to, also just to, our last game tomorrow is at 12:30 p.m. So that has been pushed up from 11:30 normally because of the time change in the UK. So the last game will be at 12:30. That's
Mm.
Everton at home versus Leicester City. Demon's favorite former coach, Brendan
But
Rodgers. That's Brendan Rodgers, the Northern Irish versus the English in Frank Lampard, right?
mm,
That game, Everton has find some form. They have been difficult to beat now, especially with they have tightened up in their defense, right? Just like Fulham, so they have been very difficult to beat, especially at home. Leicester,
true.
on the other hand, has also find some good recent form. I mean that
Mm,
Brendan Rodgers was under intense pressure. Trust me, even from the
yeah.
fans at Leicester. If you go over the page, over the last few months prior to
Mm,
the last 2 weeks, right? The fans wanted him out, right? They were
mm,
like saying he needs to go. He has lost the dressing room. He has lost the
yep.
players, and then on top of that, the club did not make any signings. But I'm thinking that the reason why the club stuck with Rogers was because they know that they did not support him over the transfer window, and the
Mm,
fact that the club had some players that were injured, right? So the club probably look into that those two scenarios and say, you know what, it's not really his fault. We're going to stick with him and see if he can take us out of this slump. And their recent form has been good, where they pick up two victory. That game, though, I'm going with Everton, just to nick it 1-0 at home. What's it? What do you think, Lima?
yeah. I'm actually going for a draw in that game. I mean, I agree. Well, I'm sad, dude. I agree with what you said as to why he didn't get fired. That's probably the main reason because yeah, everything was going downhill for him. And yeah, they probably have a sense of responsibility as a club and owners, not to give him they didn't back him enough financially to get players or whatever. I mean, they did get players, you know, but yeah, it probably wasn't enough. So we can understand where you're coming from with that. But yeah, like you say, Everton is in good form. Um, and the big man is back. And so with Calvert Lewin back, you know, I expect
Yeah,
that they
Calvert
will.
Lewin is back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's obviously looking for, a late push towards that World Cup squad for, to go to the World Cup for England. So he'll be playing really hard to try and get into that team. Iwobi is playing well for Everton. So I think that both teams will cancel each other out and it will be a draw. So I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
And I see Michelle said that she's going for Everton win. What's the score at Michelle? And Robbie nil Everton is going for a draw as well. And
Yeah, man.
Owen Green is going for an Everton win. So
So,
that's tomorrow at 12:30. That's the last game for tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. And remember,
mm,
guys, the change in the time in the UK. On to Sunday now, we have the London Derby, right? That's Chelsea at home versus Arsenal. And just to give you some stats, Chelsea and
mm,
Arsenal have played 205 times, with Chelsea winning um, just 66 times, Arsenal winning 80 times, 59 games drawn, right? Drawn. And Chelsea will be at home. They are coming off a defeat in last week fixture to Brighton, right, where
mm,
they really really play badly, while Arsenal is on this impressive run. They're just winning non-stop. The only loss for the
yeah.
season against United, so, and a draw I think versus Southampton. So that game will be, as I said, at Stamford Bridge. And as for me, I think that Arsenal it has been a long time um, I am actually betting against Chelsea at home versus
Mm,
Arsenal. Right,
mm,
I haven't done that for like years. Because
yeah.
normally when Arsenal visit Chelsea, they always don't perform. Is
Mm,
either a draw or a loss. So for tomorrow, based on the form that Arsenal is in for
yeah.
Sunday morning, and that game is at 7 a.m. people, so that's 7 a.m. on Sunday Jamaican time. That game will be at 7 a.m. So based on the form that Arsenal is in, I'm going for a 2-1 victory to Arsenal. Um, what what says you, Demo?
Well, listen, so these are the big one, I think the biggest game of the weekend. I
Yeah.
mean, any game Liverpool play big and we're playing against Tottenham, so people might want to say, that's the big game. But that game against Chelsea, I think the last time, um, last season, as the brother they come, the man phone a drop. Yo, I think the last season, when they went there, Nketiah no go bad them up boss and score 2 goal. Like, if assure that the last season. And I think they won that game, if my memory serves me right, when Nketiah scored twice there. Um, Arsenal are flying, like you said, in both competitions that they're in, the league and in the Europa League, obviously. And Chelsea should be buoyed of their victory in the Champions League as well. Zakaria getting the goal and the winner there. So both teams should be pretty confident. I know Chelsea lost in the league, and it was pretty emphatic by Brighton, but yeah, they bounced back in the Champions League. So I'm I'm actually going for I'm actually going for another draw. So I don't see a winner in that game. This is another big test for Arsenal. They got across the Liverpool test. And wait, you guys beat them. Manchester United beat them, and I think they got across the Tottenham. Them beat Tottenham, right?
Yes, they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, so
Yes,
they got across that. So a couple tests them passed and failed the Man U one. So here's another big one for Arsenal against Chelsea. A derby. So let's see. I'm going for a draw, 2-2, and Arsenal to drop some more points.
I see Jeff Entertainment say that it's an overrated derby. Wash up for a good while now. Do you agree with that, Dean?
Um, not really overrated. Me, I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
think
I
it's
don't, I don't,
overrated.
I don't think it's overrated. Like people, I don't think that word is
Yeah,
overused.
I
Like
don't think
I
people
don't nobody,
rate it
I don't know people
big.
rate that derby that much to be called overrated.
Yeah, nobody rate it in the Manchester United, Liverpool, or
And
none of
even the
them kind of
Tottenham
derby.
Arsenal, yeah, even the Tottenham
Yeah,
Arsenal is actually bigger. Yeah, I don't think that.
yo, listen. The use of the word overrated is overrated.
Yeah,
Because I
that's
don't know
I
why
agree.
must.
Yeah, I agree. Robbie is very brand, but what is your views on that game, Kems? They are Arsenal versus Chelsea.
Man, first of all, I tell you to call me, brother. When we wake up,
Yeah,
me see
but
a text. Me see a
because
text.
bro,
Man say remember to log in a text, brother. Oh, you gonna see
because
that?
bro. What call you? You look like you're asleep when you talk.
I don't know.
And the
You
phone
caught
don't
my
ring.
answer?
Yeah, you understand? And you mute the phone. Can't hear nothing.
The brother, yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, the phone
I
on
was, I
mute.
was, I am proof of that because I was
Yeah,
backstage. I'm hearing my talk to you.
yeah,
Oh,
man.
really?
Yeah, you actually
Yeah.
mute the phone when I talk to you.
Damn, my fault,
Yeah,
bro.
but I'm going to take a screenshot and send it to you.
No, you don't have to
Josh,
send
Josh was like, you weak, you weak.
it. My bad. My bad. But again, you're absolutely right about Jeff Very Bramble. This guy just come to talk a bunch of nonsense most times. Right? He might probably right 1 out of 50 times. But this game, I said this about the Chelsea. I said this about the Chelsea Brighton game, and I said, listen, Trossard going to run up in them yard, and they're going to do a bunch of business, right? Because I think when you have a lot of emotions on you, once you channel them the right way, you get a result. And I see Obama Yang making big posts. I say, and I kind of rephrase, can't remember exactly what him say. Arsenal, I'm here, but I'm blue. I'm ready to go. Right? So, I believe that Aubameyang will play a big part. Obviously, Chelsea got embarrassed, Potter got embarrassed. I think they want to bounce back. You really find, teams of that stature, you really find them lose, you know, back to back in an embarrassing fashion. So I think Chelsea will come out more focused, more disciplined, more hungry. I think Potter tactics will be a little bit better. And if Aubameyang starts, which I believe he will, I think he's going to give Arsenal a lot of trouble. Those defenders know what's going on when they were in training, what he was doing, and I think he's a bit confident knowing that he has played against these defenders in in training and all that. And I think that Arsenal has been flying high. But listen, I know Dima talk about Europe and their last win. We also remember that you know they lost against PSV. So right, they lost, right, Josh, against PSV. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
they
they
lost
do. They
again.
did.
Yeah,
They lost 2-0 against PSV.
yeah, they lost again. The big bad rude team, right? So no, looking, I think Chelsea will win this game. I think it's going to be competitive at the start. But I think they will. I think they'll pull through. I think Chelsea will win 2 goals to 1. I think it's going to be a competitive game, but I think Chelsea will have that much more quality, to go through. So I'm going 2-1 Chelsea, and if I'm not mistaken, Josh, Saka still hurt, right?
Yeah, it still hurt.
Yeah, still hurt, and I think Saka has been, you know,
They were
big, big,
saying
big.
a couple weeks he's supposed to be out. So,
Yeah,
um,
Saka has been
maybe
big for
next week.
them. I know Martinelli, come up with a goal last time. I mean last week, but I'm just looking at this Chelsea team, very embarrassed. Playing on high emotions, wanting to prove a point, wanting to prove that they belong. Obviously, Chelsea right now out of the top four, out of the top five. So now they want to come back and show some grit. So I think Chelsea will win this game. 2-1. Nothing against Arsenal, but it's just my view.
I remember
Yeah,
that
yeah,
Chilwell is also out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and the Reece James thing too. So
Yeah, the
that's
reason.
the last time that happened when Chilwell and Reece James did out for Chelsea, they plummeted, boy. But on the Aubameyang thing. Like me see a lot of Arsenal fans flipping out about Aubameyang comments. Like say way my talk so far and him supposed to be loyal to them and they kind I mean I know fans can't say anything them more, but there's a big thing over there in England about with Aubameyang. Like, bro, Arteta the one who run with the man. Why am not supposed to be confident coming back to play against them? Like, don't show no loyalty. Like, talk if you want talk, brother. The
He's
man
supposed to be
run your way.
confident, yeah, and try to
The
prove a
man,
point.
him literally push him out of the club. Like if
Mhm.
you coming back to play against him, me listen, I want all the smoke. So I have no problem with what Aubameyang doing. Like you don't need for showing a loyalty. I know you served them well, you were the captain, all of that stuff, that's in the past now. Like you got 2 clubs after that, Barcelona and then Chelsea. Like that's in the past. So I know the fans are flipping out over there in England, Arsenal fans, and they're riding high on the top of the league and top of Europa League. I'm sorry Bones on the panic because I really wanted to ask him what was his feelings towards Aubameyang. So it will be interesting.
I see Arsenal fans are out are saying that actually Saka played Thursday for around
Mhm.
Yeah,
30.
Saka. Yeah.
Yeah, he played in the game Thursday. That's Cadian, who's a big Arsenal supporter, right? She said that he played Thursday. So I guess because last week they were saying that he would be out for 2 weeks, right? And will be available for the World Cup. So because I don't follow Bramble Europa League, I did not know Saka was playing. I don't follow Arsenal in Europa. So
Yeah.
the next game that we have is Aston Villa versus Manchester United, and that's will be at 9 a.m. on Sunday, and we'll see the return of Unai Emery to the Premier League, where he'll be coaching Aston Villa, and that is an away game for Manchester United. What you make of that game, Kems?
Well, unfortunately, the top six defender Mings now have to deal with a new coach, who obviously his English is not up to par. I watched the press conference with him, and he basically, and this is Emery, said that his number one dream is to win a trophy with Aston Villa. and then his number two dream is to take them to Europe, right? But him say his immediate dream is to move them from the position that they are in right now. And it starts with Manchester United. And obviously, the trashing that they got last time, from Newcastle, obviously none of those goals weren't Ming's fault, and I can name them out step by step, but I don't want to, go over the same thing of how great Mings is and all of that, and he needs a
And
partner.
not to cut you, but you said the position. So just to note that they're in 16th on 12 points, United in 5th, 23 points. So
Yes,
continue.
absolutely. Thank you for that. Definitely 16. That is, they're trending, they're trending downwards. And when they got that little win, right after Steven Gerrard, lost his job, unfairly, I might add, but when they got that win, everybody was saying, yes, Aston Villa is back, and then only to come up against Newcastle. And really and truly, it could have been 12 or 13, to be honest with you. They were totally outclassed. Look lost, Consa looked lost, Ashley Young looked like he should be in the retirement home. All these guys were just looking, leaving Mings on an island. Obviously, we know Ali Watkins can't score a goal to save his life. And it was just absolutely terror. So no, I'm not sure what I have to give Emery's credit. He went over, to Spain, did his thing over there. And obviously Arsenal, you know, Emery will tell you that Arsenal ran him out prematurely, but Arsenal fans will say, hey, look, we have Arteta now and we're top of the league, right? So six and one half does not the other. But I'm looking, I don't know what Emery can do to save this team. I see an image that they want Hazard in January. They want Hazard to come. So I don't know which Hazard they think they will get. If there's the Madrid Hazard or if the Chelsea Hazard they're hoping to get. But they want Hazard and they have Coutinho already. But really and truly, I think they need another defender, another central defender, because Kansa is just not good enough. Absolutely not good enough. Jumping, missing headers. If you want to play in Europe, if you want to move up the team, you can't be doing those simple Manning Cup things. And Manning Cup and Course and Pepsi jump and miss headers, and you can say, all right, them young, they'll grow. You know. So on the other end now, we see Manchester United flying high, obviously. We see the coach setting a standard. Cristiano Ronaldo, you're not bigger than the club. You have to come, you have to confirm you want to play Champions League. No Champions League club want you. So come in the Europa and try and earn your spot in the Europa. Come in, and it seems like he's behaving himself right now, but the team looks really good. I see Maguire came back in the team, looking steady, looking really good. No one place is cemented, and that is what I've always wanted. So I'm looking. This looks like it's going to be a 3-0 victory for Manchester United. Could be 5 or 6 right now because Mings by himself around there. You know, I'm sorry, but I think it's going to be 3-0. Obviously, Demo and Jamie Carragher disrespecting Martin. Oh, this guy cannot play centre back in the league. This man too short. Probably should go and play central defense. And this man is one of the best defenders right now. And I might add he's way better than Van Dijk at this current moment. And nobody can debunk that. Right, Josh?
Nobody can demote that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
way better than Van Dijk. Sturdy, rough, like
bro.
he's
He's
just
like
very aggressive.
yeah, aggressive. He's
IQ,
like a bully, bully in defense,
IQ.
intimidating.
Total contrast to Lindeborg and all those players who we used to have around this leaking goals like a pipe. Obviously, the hair, since he never make Spain squad, I don't know what fly up in that man. That man saving bars left, right, and center, playing some really good football. And I'm looking, Rashford just get his 100th goal. And I'm just looking at the team, and the team just gelling nice, looking nice. Everybody happy. A lot of smiles on the faces. So, Manchester United all the way. We should be able to, peep in that top four, a little bit and start moving up. So, I'm going United 3-0.
And do you think that well, I think I'm hoping that Emery
Mm-hmm.
plays his usual open style that he
Mm-hmm.
normally do in Spain, where he doesn't pay much attention to defense.
Mm-hmm.
He just try to attack and leave defense open. But normally when he coached at Arsenal, right, it was kind of defensive a bit. So I'm wondering if he's going to come with the open style from Spain, or is going to resort to that ultra pragmatic style when he was at Arsenal, right?
But
And you mentioned
uh-huh,
United's in form. I watched United in Europa on Thursday, right?
uh-huh,
That game was a very good game against Real Sociedad. But
uh-huh,
my only concern from that game was that the players really looked tired.
uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah, they
Yep.
really, really, really look tired. And trust me, that World Cup really can't come fast enough.
Oh gosh, man, the World Cup
They look
really.
tired.
Yeah, but based on what I hear about yeah, Ten Hag, I saw some reports saying that even during the World Cup, obviously they're gonna get a little break, but
Yeah,
those who not going to the World Cup will be training. Will be training as well after that
right.
break, so they won't get the whole World Cup break off. But definitely the players look tired, and I'm glad that they were still able to sneak out that win because obviously as a team you're not gonna play every game great, but again. I think when you have a bad game and you still get the 3 points, I think it says a lot about your team. And I know the Manchester United haters out there, really, really, really worried, especially that guy up top to the right. Really, really worried with this team somewhere struggling. But again, Josh, United looking really, really good. I need to buy.
They're really
I need.
looking real good.
I need to buy the new jersey. Need to buy
Yeah,
the
man,
new
they're looking.
jersey, man.
They look like they're going to. I was actually concerned a bit earlier on about whether or not they would make top four, but based on what I'm seeing now, they really
Sure.
look sure top four for this season. Deem, a question for you as well as give your view on that game tomorrow. But the question I want to ask you, what you think is going to happen since you're a strong supporter of the Reggae Boys, right? What you think is going to happen with Leon Bailey under this new coach, and what are your views on that game tomorrow?
What will happen to Leon Bailey under
Will
this
he
new
start
coach?
regular under this new coach, given that sometimes Emery tend to play very open, attacking football?
No, wait. Are you asking me what the new coach for the Reggae Boys is going to do with Leon Bailey, or what Emery is
No,
going to
new
do?
coach Emery for Aston Villa. Do you think he's
Okay.
going to give Leon Bailey regular game time, like
Oh,
what
because
we
it's a new
and
coach. I
fans?
mean, no, it's a
Yeah, the new
Jamaica
coach
have a
Emery,
new coach
in
from.
Emery.
All right.
So, do you think that you play regular game time for Aston Villa under this new under Emery?
I mean, what he was doing, because he had with a yellow team, the name him used to coach at Spain. Uh, what the team
Villarreal,
name him coach at
Villarreal,
Villarreal?
Yeah, yeah.
Villarreal. Yeah,
submarine.
yeah, Yellow Submarine.
Yeah,
He had Danjuma as a winger doing really well. So I expect him to do the same thing with Leon Bailey. Obviously, I think Danjuma is better than Leon Bailey. Obviously, he's more talented than Leon Bailey, but he plays with wingers and they are really involved in the game, especially on the counter. I remember when they were playing Bayern Munich in Champions League, and I called them to beat them and knock them out. It was because of how he played on the counter, and I thought that the high line, whatever high line team they got, those wingers were very integral to the way how Emery was playing with Villarreal. So, like you said, you don't know which approach you're gonna take.
yes,
If
because
it's
as
the
you mentioned,
Arsenal
not to
approach,
put you,
hmm
that's
stop
not to
saying
put you,
not
but
to
you must
cut me when you're gonna
understand.
cut me, no boss. You're gonna
Just
cut
to make
me. You
that
say
point,
not to
I agree
cut
with the
me.
Villarreal point where he play a lot with the wingers, but when he's at Arsenal, it was very conservative.
Yeah, yeah. So like you say, I'm not sure what approach he'll take, and I guess it all depends on the type of players he has. So I think Leon Bailey should get a fresh start under him and play more as long as he's not injured. And yeah, he should strive in that system that he's going to play. So as for the game though, V plus about Martinez, yeah, obviously Martinez is better than Virgil van Dijk in this current form. There's no question about that. But I'm going to just screenshot something for the next show
Mhm.
because I don't know why Kim feel like him can come here so and try show me up. Because after the first two games Martinez played for Manchester United, when they got a flogging, he was the one after me say the man looked too short for play in the league. Him fully agree with me and send it in the group when I think Soonest said it and post it in the group that we're in. I said, Demo, see your boy, I say, Ray, blah, blah, blah. But I'll find the
No,
conversation
no,
and I'll
no, no, no,
save it.
no, no.
But I'll
Listen.
find it. We don't need to
What?
argue, you know.
No, no, no. We're not arguing, Dima. Let me just say one thing. Just remember, I've said when the evidence change, my opinion is also allowed to change. Right.
That's
So
fine. So we are showing me up for like you never did agree. So we are showing me up for.
hey,
See you
hey,
never. The man say me and Garrett and Carragher say. And the man agreed, after the first two games. I say, yo, maybe them for try me in a
well,
stadium for
well,
true.
me not gonna call out myself, brother. Me not call out myself, brother.
Anyway, he has really surprised me, and he's one of the best centre backs in the league right now, as short as him be, and that's a big surprise to me. Like me say, we no need for holding a horses on the thing. Like oh, no did get hype over Coutinho too. Give the thing time. That's all. Me not gonna get hype over this. He's playing real well right now, but may I just watch till the end of the season.
But
Um,
the levels where him there is different from where Coutinho got. Coutinho just did score a goal and assist, but this man has been rock solid. I think we overhyped Coutinho, but this man has been rock solid around the brother for a while now.
Yeah,
For a while.
me still believe him kind of a bit rush. A lot of sliding in and things. So he can get found out, and I just want to see him for the rest of the season.
Okay.
Um, like both of you seem to agree with everything we can say in terms of Manchester United and the form that they're picking up. Um, I see an easy victory for them come Sunday. I'm going for a 3-1. Listen, I remember who I was having the conversation in the group with somebody about De Gea not making the Spain side and how like the thing literally blasphemous. I don't know how David De Gea cannot make a 55-man Spain squad. It is ridiculous. And don't tell me about how him can't use him feet and like you pick three other keepers who can use them feet and then two other like De Gea have to make the team. It don't make no sense and I'm so happy for him to see him keep him. Obviously, as a Liverpool fan, I know what Man U doing well. But as a Spain fan, I am very happy for the year. He must show up the coach, and I'm happy to see that. So Manchester United on a high right now, can't argue with that, and I'm going 3-1. Again, me call with all I want to hear so they are bash Rashford telling the boss. The man don't just turn a crap baller like that. The man is still a top player and he will do well for Manchester United going forward. So yeah, man, 3-1 Manchester United come Sunday.
All right. Our next game will be 9 a.m. on Sunday as well. Southampton at home to Newcastle, a Newcastle team that is in very, very, very good form. And last week, many Jamaicans were supposed to able to watch that game on CVM. Last week Saturday at 9 a.m. where Newcastle ran out victors over Aston Villa 4-0. Right. I also watched that game on CVM TV, and the type of football that Newcastle was playing, boy, it was very, 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 very entertaining, very high press. Almiron, the form that Almiron, Linton, and as we have talked about before, Bruno Guimaraes, the form that those guys are in, and Callum Wilson, right? They look actually are very, very unstoppable. And I'm seeing that um, Jeff Entertainment, that's a Robbie, Bramber Robbie, saying that Batman is better. Well, he's actually saying that Batman is better than Martinez. That's the
Yeah,
Batman that
Batman
plays for Newcastle
Batman has been really
in
good as
defense.
well.
He has been very, very good. So that is arguable. What do you make of that game, Deem? Southampton at home to Newcastle. And just remember that it's the same Southampton that hold Arsenal to that 1-1 draw. What do you make
Yeah,
of that game?
but they went on. That game wasn't last week.
No,
Then
that was
Southampton they lose last week.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
so
was
we had tell
I'm
them
just saying
about
at
them
home.
draw.
They're at home now. Again.
Yeah, well, Southampton is there for the picking, boss. And any team right now who needs 3 points, I mean, I guess apart from Arsenal, but I don't know. They just don't look confident. Like they don't look like a Premier League team right now, if I'm being honest. Newcastle on the other hand, sky contrast. Like everything is just up for Newcastle right now. The fans, the atmosphere, the stadium, like the whole city are probably Newcastle. Like everything just seemed to be pointed in the right direction. Kind of like when Manchester City they just get buyout and them start to transition. And to me that's how it's feeling over there in Newcastle. It just seems like everything is pointing to go on a up. And sure, they brought in players, but you cannot downplay the coaching of Eddie Howe and what he's doing with that team because him still have players to come out of the academy like Sean Longstaff still a play, right? So and I like saying just throw a bag of players in there. What he has done with Joe Linton, obviously that's down to coaching because everybody know Joe Linton was a bug until Eddie Howe taking over. So and they're not even conceding a lot of goals. That
Yeah,
is
they did
also a
concede.
big thing. I'm telling you, the signing of Nick Pope was so underrated when the transfer season. The man then pick up Nick Pope, and it just seemed like we just got under the radar. So Newcastle are doing everything right. Southampton here for the picking. I'm going for 3 goals to nil, another clean sheet for Newcastle. Obviously, Callum Wilson, once he's fit, he's going to be scoring goals. So I never see this Almiron brother scoring and doing this madness right now. It's a big shock to me, but hey, he's in form, and yeah, I'm going
This
for what must say 3-0, 3-0
3-0.
to Newcastle, another clean sheet.
this man said Almiron is unstoppable to rat it.
That is what
What?
maybe probably
Oh,
said. Almiron is unstoppable, and I agree with you. With Eddie Howe, because it's not just the fact that they spend money on in January and in the summer on players, but most of the Newcastle players that he inherited from the previous coach, and they were all out of form. Almiron, Joe Linton, most of them are out of form, and he actually have them playing very good at the moment. It's like he
I,
have almost everybody playing
didn't,
very well.
didn't he change Joe Linton's position?
Yeah,
yeah,
he
Yeah,
from
changed
till that,
forward to midfield.
from work to midfield. Yeah, he
Yeah,
yeah.
changed a lot
but
of
the
the
biggest
position,
thing
actually.
before Kim Stock is that the great Saint Max is back and he got some minutes last week off the bench, so he should be able to start again pretty soon.
Start again. Bad man, the man don't need set max again, brother. He's supposed to be out the
You
team.
see when this is the lineup Sunday, then we talk because we don't know
All
where to
right.
talk.
All right, boss. So once again, another game where I'll be keying in on Mr. Ward Prowse. Another game he has been not so good over these past few games where I've been watching him, and based on Ryan's definition of what his position should do, he has definitely not been doing that. Right? Again, a lot of times lost in the game. Obviously, Rice is a little bit better than him where that is concerned, but Ward-Prowse have been lost in the game, and the only way him go World Cup is if the whole midfield injured, brother. Because he's just not good enough, not worthy. Or even just a good there, for just dead ball and kick free kick and them thing there. The extra time or the dying moments are the make it thing there. But right now he's not playing some good football. And Southampton on a whole, is not playing good football. Surprisingly they get a draw against Arsenal. I don't know what Arsenal was drinking or eating that day. But Southampton has been really looking bad, very disorganized at the back, anemic up front, in the midfield, don't know what they're trying to do. And with a Newcastle side that, Eddie Howe has instilled belief in them, instilled teamwork, instilled, working together, partnership, and even if they lose, there's no blame against anybody. Obviously, what I see Eddie Howe do, and a lot of managers don't do that. But what I see Eddie Howe do, when Newcastle get a bad result or not a favorable one, he shoulders the blame. When they win, everything goes to the players, up to the players, and I think that is one thing for setting chemistry, making chemistry, a major part of a team. And going up against, after getting that 4-0 win against Aston Villa, going up against a Southampton side, this can only um, help the confidence of the team. As Dima say, you know, Almiron was the center of the Jack Grealish joke. Right now, it looked like the other way around. Jack Grealish, is the center of the jokes because
Joke right now,
what
yeah.
Almiron is doing right now, brother, is look like he can pencil in them man for a goal, and not only a goal, not none of them tap in there, some cracker. Because a goal they were scored against Aston Villa, boy. That was, man, that's where Ashley Young gone over there, so, and then just curls down the back of the net. So I'm looking at this game and I'm going 5-0. I'm going a 5-0 victory, for
Wow.
Newcastle, at Southampton House. So I don't know if
Yeah, they
Pepe
can
Paul is
probably take
watching.
over 3.5 for that.
Yes, man, this is a over 3.5 game. But me, as a scary better, me a bet over 2.5. But whoever want to bet over 3.5 can. But me, personally, Newcastle to win and over 2.5 goals. I
As
think
Kim
this
was
should
saying,
get this game.
Newcastle, their chemistry, right? You were saying that their chemistry has been very good. What I noticed on their Facebook page is after every game, they post for a team photo, right? And what I also realized that what Eddie Howe does is that he stayed at the back of the photo
Yep,
and he pushed the players to the front. Like
absolutely.
he's all even his coaching staff, his rest of coaching staff, he'll put them in front of him. He
Yep,
alone stay at the back
yep,
on the team photo. That's what and I really like that.
yep.
It
You
shows a
know,
lot actually humility.
yeah, and you know what that symbolizes is that, it's basically him saying without even talking, that he is where he is because of these guys.
Right.
These guys are the one. Obviously, as the coach, you put in the tactics and all of that, but the players are the ones who go there and execute. Cause you can tactic from now till the morning. But if the players don't buy in into what you're saying, what you're teaching, what you're trying to instill, if they don't buy in and they just go there and just do a bunch of foolishness, you are going to look like a horrible coach. And Demo has been one who have been, singing the Edio song from he was at Bournemouth, right? And I was like, that man should go down and get relegated, right? So again, I believe that at Bournemouth, the players just wasn't carrying the mantle anymore. You see, he still brought over some of those players that were at the Colum Wilsons of the world, the Frasers of the world. These are players who he believed in, who believed in him, and then now, you get some money. And I think the Newcastle right now is like, that girl who is not so physically attractive and she start get some money, meet a rich man, get some money, fix up herself. No, you can't talk to her. That's the Newcastle right now. Get some money, get in some players, mix with the players that they had before, get in a coach who have a particular philosophy. Now all of a sudden Newcastle up there in the top four. It happens.
And even though he did bring up Workman to the EPL and he had them stayed up he actually punched above his weight with Bournemouth in the Premier League for 4 or 5 seasons. Then when he get relegated, he decided to leave the club and to Championship. And even though he decided to leave, the fans there still have him as an hero. So that shows you how
But
much they think of.
I never just from the championship to the league.
No,
They're
it's just like from League One, come straight up.
from League One come straight
Yes,
up,
yeah,
boss.
League One. I think it's League Two, League One, Championship, Premier League. He bring them
Yes,
up around three to
sir.
four divisions, right?
Yes,
So the
sir.
fans
The
have him as
man,
an hero at Bournemouth,
he is. He
actually.
is.
Our other 9 a.m. game on Sunday will be a very tight looking game between West Ham. West Ham will be at home, and that will be against Crystal Palace. So that's West Ham
Mm.
in 13th position on 14 points versus Crystal Palace in 10th
Mm.
and 16 points. What do you make of that game, Dima?
Yeah, I mean, he used the right word and he say it looked like a tight game. As they said, the two teams, or they're going to say, it looks like a
Yeah.
draw. Um, I don't think West Ham have been conceding a lot of goals of late. And Crystal Palace, Zaha for the past couple weeks has been a major disappointment. And Kim's boy, like I don't know how that man picked the man in a FPL team. Maybe name Edward or whatever, because that man just seems to be carrying the weight that Zaha is supposed to be doing, and getting goals here and there each week. So I'm not seeing a lot of goals. I'm going to go 1-1. Like, yeah, I can't say an exciting game or Bowen isn't the same player he was last season. Um, Zaha not on any good form. So pretty much the exciting players, like the wingers, them not really fly right now. I mean, I guess they can rely upon Skamaka, but yeah, I'm not really say a exciting game. So I'm going to go for a boring 1-1 draw.
Yeah, it seems like a dull 1-1 draw. What says you, Kenneth?
I'm actually going for a West Ham win, right? I agree with Dimo that it'll be very low scoring. I'm going on 1-0 West Ham win. Again, looking for Mr. Rice. He should be able to boss this midfield with a bunch of no names out there. There should be no problem for him. I'm not sure if they're going to start Antonio or name the scammer man. I'm not really too impressed with West Ham this season. But again, it's early. And I know Dima saying, Bowen is not the same. But if you most remember in the Dima last season, I didn't think Bowen started out hot. I think he started to develop after. But Bowen have to
Mm,
be careful because, if he wants to go to the World Cup, which I'm sure Southgate will probably, I think, after this weekend, I think Southgate will be naming his team. So
yeah,
this will be a great opportunity for Bowen to remind everybody, say, hey, Southgate, because I don't think Bowen is one of the favorites. The Maguires have to be in the squad. The Sterling have to be in the squad. No matter how him a play, he have to be there. And some of my other favorites. Bowen is probably right on the line. So, a game like this against a Crystal Palace team, who I think they're very sound defensively. I think attacking wise, yeah, I think they can do better. I expect more from Zaha. Zaha wants to go to a team playing in Europe, but the way he's playing right now and finishing doesn't look like Europe quality to me. But yes, I'm going on 1-0 Southampton, 1-0 Southampton, 1-0 West Ham win. Very, very boring game. I won't be watching this game only to look at Rice. So I'll record it and then go back and see what Rice is doing. But I'm going 1-0 West Ham.
So you
you
want to
you
see what
know,
Rice is in for
you
World
know,
Cup.
you
Mhm.
know what the funny thing is? Like two of these players have been heavily linked to Liverpool over the past couple of days. Declan Rice is one, like very like reliable sources have come out and say we're looking to sign Declan Rice, and also Zaha with the whole contract situation, and trying to get somebody to cover the wings. So I don't know if that's gonna happen for Liverpool, but I'll take Declan Rice, and I'm sure in a Liverpool team, Kane's mind will have change if Declan Rice in our midfield. So we'll see how that develops.
All right, and our last game for this round of fixtures will be Spurs at home versus Liverpool. So that's Spurs versus Liverpool. And just for some stats information, both teams have played 179 matches. Spurs winning 48 of those games, Liverpool 87, and they have drawn 44 games. So that's 179 games. So Liverpool actually have the edge in terms of winning percentage. That game will be at
Edge.
Spurs. Yeah, Liverpool have the edge in terms of winning percentage,
That sound
right?
like a dominant man said the edge. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, well, yeah, they have more than an edge, right? Almost two-thirds. They will be Spurs will be at home versus Liverpool. I see Antonio Conte complaining about injuries, right? But I'm not sure how many key players he has out injured, but he has been complaining about injury. I know that probably Song is one of those persons.
Yeah,
But he has complained a lot in the press conference that he doesn't know how the injury list is going to affect Spurs for the rest of the
yeah,
campaign.
we can say that too. We might
Yeah,
talk
and
about.
Liverpool also have injuries. So what do you make of that game, Kevs?
We say me?
Kems, what do you make of that game?
Oh, Kenny.
I'm going with a Tottenham win for this one. Obviously Liverpool has looked like, a Stoke City this season. Sometime when it's a cold night in Stoke, they show up and then other times they just don't show up. So I think, Tottenham being at home, I give Tottenham the edge. I think it's going to be a lot of lemonade mixing around there in the defense against Van Dijk, who is not looking his best. I'm going a 3-2 Tottenham victory.
All right, Dima.
But what? Wait, Hurricane can mix lemonade. Anyway, the sun
If if
sun
if if
sun being
Mitrovic, if
out of this
Mitrovic,
game.
hello boss, if
You
Mitrovic
done
can
done
do
a
it,
while ago in a game
no
prediction,
boss,
boss.
this is something I for report, boss. What do you mean?
All
All
right.
right, go on.
Yeah, well, I'm saying the loss of Son in this game is massive. Son not playing, and I think they say Kulisevsky is back, but I'm not sure if he's going to start this game. And so this lemonade mixing thing, people them who supposed to cause problem, in terms of on the wings, I'm sure a Trent and Van Dijk name in a Kim's mind when he might talk about this lemonade mixing team. These guys aren't going to be playing. Thing is, playing at that stadium, Liverpool are actually not very good there. Um, and we're not on good form in the Premier League. Obviously, we were the team that gave Napoli their first defeat of the season. You know it go. When it comes to Champions League, that's just what we do. We progress to the last 16, and we might have a tough draw coming up. But I'm actually going to agree with Kims. I think that Liverpool will lose this game 2-1. So I'm going 2-1 to Tottenham.
And I see that Michelle saying that Liverpool will win. This not hard. Um, Jeff Entertainment Robert, so Liverpool will win easily. So that's 2 wins for Liverpool, and they'll say John game again, right?
Yeah,
So
I'm going for a Tottenham win 2-1.
all right. So that is the end of our EPL preview, guys. But before we go, Demo, persons have been asking about cricket, right?
So with them
Podcast
ask.
for World Cup, right? So can you promise a cricket show next week?
I already tell you this we can't do a cricket show, boss. How much time I tell
I
you
can do a
that?
cricket show and then you do the analysis. What says you
Yeah, I
for the
mean,
people?
if you set it up and like this, then sure.
Yeah, I can
But
set it
me
like this
can't
and then
host.
get you and few other persons to do the main analysis.
Yeah, man, but me can't host the show. That's what I meant say. Like me can't be the host.
And I
If you
see they are
understand.
also asking for the NBA, but Kims is out. Kims is normally the host for the NBA show and Robbie. So I'll give you a word on that because normally we have it on a Saturday night at 7 p.m.
People
Right?
still
So
want to talk about cricket and West Indies drop out
yeah,
of the World
they
Cup.
asked me for cricket about cricket podcasts right throughout. And even over a sports explosion, I have persons tagging me, asking me
Listen,
about cricket
boss,
podcasts.
honestly, the times of the games for the World Cup means obviously I can't watch all the games that happens in the
Yeah,
World Cup. Because
because
either me sleep or I'm on my way to work or something during them
it's in
times.
New Zealand, right?
Australia.
Australia, yeah, Australia. Yeah,
Yeah, so
they
it's
say the
like
same.
I'll catch bits, I'll catch half of some innings or whatever. If like tonight is supposed to be a big game between England and Sri Lanka because in that group it's very tight and if Sri Lanka beat England, that means it's gonna be New Zealand, Australia that goes through. If England win, which is the more we know you want,
Yeah,
if England beats Sri Lanka, then it's going to be New Zealand and England who progresses. So it's like it's very tight, and the game will start 4 o'clock in the morning. Like the times them kind of crazy. So we have to go sleep now,
yeah,
set
the
my
time
alarm for
crazy.
try and get up and watch it. So
Yeah, yeah. I think
even
England is
while
going to beat
watching,
them.
I mean, yeah. So we'll see what happens though. But the World Cup time kind of crazy, and I know people
Yeah,
want to talk about
crazy, crazy.
region, the Super 50 and stuff with Jamaica and thing. But yeah, man, if you set it up like this, you can do a little thing.
All right, so guys, you can look out for the cricket podcast around next week. One of those days depending on the semifinals schedule. We'll have a show on cricket. So anything else, Dima?
No, man, that's it. Big up everybody. Continue to support the team. Great to see so much of you guys out tonight. And yeah, look forward to some upsets in the Premier League this weekend.
Yeah, man, big up, guys. Yeah, there was a lot of you. I think one time I have over 21 persons this late of the night because normal would have started at 8. So to have so many
Exactly.
of you guys after 10 this time, which is after 11 Dima time, is
Mhm.
actually very great. So big up, guys. Remember to support your favorite teams and for all the betters, good luck for the EPL weekend and please do not listen to Robbie. All right?
Big up, big
Robbie
up.
is very bad, but don't listen to Robbie. So big up
Yeah.
guys and walk good, live good.